a similar experience with V Rising recently, which I picked up just on a whim.
So what's the premise of
Huge.
V Rising?
V Rising is a vampire survival game.
Hmm.
It's not isometric. It's kind of pretending to be isometric. Your camera's at that kind of angle, but you
Right.
can rotate
Okay.
360. So it's not isometric. It's kind of top angle down game.
Yeah.
And you can you need to defeat certain bosses who have vampire bloodlines in them to unlock technologies.
Okay.
Like in real life.
Oh, exactly like real life. Yeah.
And then once you've got those, you can use this technology. So there might be better building materials, there might be
Yeah.
better weapon recipes or armor recipes, and then you go get the ingredients and you make your stuff.
Yeah.
Fine. It is advertised as a multiplayer game,
Right.
but you can also play it single player. Don't play it single player. Because all of the things are designed so that, there's one where you learn a skill where you can enchant humans.
Right.
And you bring them back to your castle and then you convert them into thralls. And you put them in and it says, this thrall is a low-level thrall, so he'll be ready in 2 hours.
That smells like mobile game development stuff.
Now, if this is an online thing, that's fine. Just set up a bunch of these, go do something else or log off or, raid someone else's keep or something, come back and, hey, look, everything's cooked. I've got my new thrall, all the stuff I was making is ready, the research is done. Single player, I got to the point where I unlocked, okay, I can now send my thralls on missions. It took forever to unlock this because I'm having to do this in real time.
Yeah.
Okay, I can now send my thrall over to a human camp and send him to come back with resources. He's going to come back with 1,600 wood and a bunch of other things. Like, that's amazing. I can only carry, that's more than I can carry. It's going to take 16 hours.
Right, so you're basically just hanging around for these tasks to be, but you have to be playing the game for that time to progress.
16 in-game hours because I'm not running this as a server. Don't play the single player.
Ouch.
That's my hot take. If you're having fun with it, fine.
That's actually one of the things that I didn't like about Ark, and that's again a server setting. But when I originally played it, when it took it said it would take 2 hours to tame a dinosaur, I'm like, I'm not standing next to a dinosaur for 2 hours feeding it narco berries.
Yeah, no, Ark was definitely designed with the idea of large tribes in a PvP setting.
Yeah.
Right? So they want you to raising a wyvern is the worst. It's 3 days.
But in-game days, that is a lot of. If you're
but
shifting,
they're expecting there's 50 people in your tribe, and you're going to take turns as supposed to go get the milk and all the rest of it. Why wyverns drink milk, I don't know. How they produce it, I don't know. They have no memories. They're not mammals. But fine, they have milk.
I'm just going to go over here and ask Google about lizard milk. Nothing can go wrong.
Sounds like a 90s band. Didn't they open for Mother Love Bone? Wow, I'm showing my age. But yeah, there's at least on Ark, it's easy to tweak that stuff, and I imagine you could do in V Rising. I just bounced off it at that point. The gameplay loop just wasn't exciting. Go over here, kill these humans, come back, upgrade your castle. Okay.
Yeah. Good old memories of memories.
But yeah, I found that was very interesting. We did also talk a little bit about asymmetrical cooperative games.
Yes. Project Tango? Yeah.
Project or Operation? Steam.
On your marks, get set, go. They also had a very good Operation Tango. One of the things that I actually thought was a great thing that the developers did with this game, and we'll talk about what is asymmetric about it in a moment. But the whole thing about I didn't have to buy it. So we could just play it straight away without having to worry about.
I think the castle is like that. Only the host needs to own it, and it's $4. If everyone else buys it, they're going to appear in the story more often, and they can decide what their noble's going to look like ahead of time, rather than just have a randomly generated one, which is also
I
funny.
mean, it makes me sound really stingy, but it's not. You know what it's like? You're like, oh, yeah, I'd like to play with you, but the thing might be 40, 50 quid. At that point, or like $60. At that point, you're like, oh, but I'm not sure I'm going to like it. So being able to play with someone who doesn't have the game, ostensibly as if they were with you, that's the critical thing.
So, what is Operation Tango?
It's an asynchronous cooperative game. So one of you...
It's not asynchronous. Definitely not asynchronous.
Asymmetric. Asymmetric. That's the one. Thank you.
Asynchronous is we don't play at the same time.
Like a chess game.
Yeah.
So the asymmetric gameplay. One of you has like an overview map of what's going on.
And a computer hacker.
There's a computer hacker, there we go. And the other one actually roams around first person within the world itself. And combined, you're one of you's like a spy and espionage. You're sneaking around a particular place.
Shooty bang bang sneaky person.
Yep. Shooty bang bang sneaky person.
It's a technical term.
And the other one's like a
if we ever make a cooperative game like that, that is one of the classes.
Shooty bang bang sneaky person. But yes, it was a very enjoyable game, and the experience between what you were experiencing and I were experiencing, it was two different games running alongside one another. It was fantastic.
It was, but very connected. I mean, there's one where you're trying to stop a runaway train from hitting a wall and killing everyone aboard, including the operative. And they've got a bunch of logic puzzles that they've got to do to defuse bombs.
Yeah.
But of course, you need to be diffusing them on your end because they can't hack the system.
Yeah.
So it's not just like keep talking, no one explodes. It's like, okay, I see a red wire, a blue wire, a twisty red and blue wire.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't know how to describe this one, but I need you to go into it and get me the passenger manifest.
And I love the one where it's basically a platform puzzle. You've got to go through a maze, but as the player, you cannot see any of the issues, any of the traps and things. But Jan could see all the traps, and so you're trying to communicate. You're like, nope, I'm dead.
It was a very cool game. Doesn't take long to finish. It's like 2 or 3
No,
hours. But honestly, worth it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a phenomenal game. If you've got someone to spend a couple of hours, each mission was like half an hour, 40 minutes or so, wasn't it?
Split to several missions, so you don't have to play it all in one go. Munson knows where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
Caboodle.
The question is, Munson, do you have a free acupuncture session every time?
I mean, I think acu is a bit much. I think it's rando puncher.
Rando puncher. You will have a hole here, and a hole here, and a hole here.
So Caboodle has discovered this little... My girlfriend got me a wonderful heated cat blanket, self-heating cat blanket. And his cat likes to fall asleep next to the desk, so I put it there next to my keyboard. He loves it. But Caboodle has discovered it. Caboodle is this one. She's tiny. She's his sister. And while she's incredibly sweet and loving, she can turn into a bag of knives, especially when there's any other animal around. So she likes to sit here, and she has decided that any quick movement with my hands is clearly me playing cat games. So she will claw the absolute living poop out of my hands whenever I try and type.
So if you wonder,
you might think.
In a course where Jan's typing, it's really, really slow. It's actually for self-preservation.
Oh, yes.
Otherwise, you'd lose a finger.
Yep. Also, I'm very pleased that I managed to remember not to swear there. Also discuss what Mikey does with teacups.
A storm in a teacup.
Storm in a teacup. It was
that's
that
the one. Yeah, that's the one. Yes, but so that makes sense. We were also talking about earlier fun. Now we've mentioned this before ages ago, but the goal of making a game fun.
Okay, so there's a couple of things I'd like to bring up here. One is, does a game have to be fun?
I would argue no.
I would argue no too. And my go-to for this, and it's not an original one for me. I think I got this from Game Maker's Toolkit, but I'm not entirely sure. But a great example is This War of Mine. Deeply compelling game about being a civilian in a war zone, just
That's
trying.
That's
to
been on sale recently as well.
Very dark, very grim, and some of the decisions you have to make are tough, like scavenging for food and water, and then discovering that there's an elderly couple in their house who needs it, but so do your people. Like, that is just not a pleasant decision. There is nothing fun about this game, but it's really good.
Yeah.
Like, very compelling. But the other thing is, I'd like to put it to you as game designers and students of game design and people who love playing games. Fun is not a useful word in any capacity.
Make it 10% more fun.
Yeah, make it 10% more fun. Could you make it like this, but the fun, remove some of the fun. I want to tweak the fun. Like, it doesn't help from a feedback point of view. It's not a good design thing. It's when I'm making games for courses, I like to start with the player experience. For me, that's what a game is, the player experience. Avoid the word fun. It just doesn't.
I think fun is really like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. I've played several games, and looking back, I've actually had a lot of fun with them.
Not a goal.
Yeah, I've played plenty of games where I've had a lot of fun, not actually playing the game, but doing something else within the game that I found enjoyable.
Played very bad games and had fun because I'm playing with my friends who are fun. The amount of times you'll be playing a game, video game, board game, doesn't matter, and someone says, "Oh no, it's a terrible game, but it's a lot of fun with your friends." It's like that's a comment on my friends, not on the game. Like, I just have nice friends. That's all that means.
Oh, it makes a huge difference. Yes, I remember this was quite a few years ago, but I remember playing Jagged Alliance.
Roderick.
Oh yes,
I agree, and I think we're gonna have to put a fun slider in some of these games.
You will have more fun.